If you happen to be on the internet ever, you know that there was a remake of The Craft in the works. At least that's what they were calling it initially. And the trailer just came out like a day ago. It's not actually a reboot or a remake, thank God. It's a sequel 20 years into the future with none of the original characters, but it is a sequel nonetheless. I sort of mentioned a couple times in the past, maybe even in a video, about my wariness regarding the remake. But I'm always wary about remakes and reboots. Just generally, they don't excite me that much. But I've been proven wrong a couple of times. And so, going into this, there's definitely nothing that I would like more than to like the movie, to be pleasantly surprised by the movie. And I was giving it the benefit of the doubt because it's directed by Zoe Lister-Jones. For some reason in my head, up until very recently, I thought it was directed by Desiree Akaba, and that's not true. I don't know who incepted that, but whatever, let's not worry about it. I did watch the trailer, so this definitely isn't like a reaction. I don't do reactions because I've tried to do reactions and I just don't react. Yeah, I already watched it and I just had a couple things to say, and I figured, you know what, I was gonna make like a little short video about my Halloween watch list picks for this month, but this is a much better way to start off Halloween, by going through the trailer, picking out the things that I like, the things that I don't like, and still, we're not writing the whole movie off just yet because we haven't seen the whole thing. Trailer's not good. I don't think it's very good, but that's just the trailer. Let's get my handy dandy notebook. I don't actually like how it starts. It says Blumhouse in the beginning, and it's very Blumhouse. Like, it just has this sense of dread and foreboding from the very beginning, even though it's not really doing anything yet.
I'm to meet the boys. They're really excited to meet you.
And that's fine. I like Dave Duchovny, whatever. But and I think I appreciate too that this main character, more on that later, is supposed to be sort of like a parallel almost to Nancy Downs, because in the end I think the trailer suggesting is that she's the one who goes bad and gets consumed by power. And I like that there is obvious differences between her and Nancy, so they're not doing everything exactly the same. She seems to have an okay family unit right now. She's close to her mom. Her mom doesn't seem like she's, kind of a mess. David Duchovny seems okay. So that's all fine and good. My only thing about this information is that it seems like, from the way it's introduced in a trailer, it's almost like a short film. You have so much time to relay so much information, and you have to choose the most important things. I don't think it's that important to see this shot of her stepbrother staring at her, but I haven't seen the movie yet, obviously, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, right? But it's the meat of the story, as I tend to say, seems to be that she is a new girl at a new school, and she falls in with a coven. Their special fourth. That seems like the main plot of the story, right? So I feel like I didn't need the Life with Derek introduction. That could have come up later. You could have started been like, I'm new at the school. In the very next scene, the mom asks her how she feels about school. That would have been a perfect starting point, I think, because that's the inciting incidents. It just seems like filler for a trailer.
Bird sings. Wow, that is super nasty.
Okay, so the super embarrassing thing happens, and it's I can imagine that it would be just absolutely mortifying, but the music, that high-pitched violin, that whirring, I don't like it here, just because I feel like it's one of those things, again, nothing super foreboding or dangerous has happened yet, so you're upping the stakes before there are stakes to up. God, grammar. But it's not doing a good job of setting the stage, really. They could have simply started how do you feel about your new school, Mom? And not Nancy Downs. Then cut to new school, trouble fitting in, little montage, like 2 scenes, introduce the coven. But I do understand that this Tommy character, Tommy, whatever his name is, not Chris, is I guess like a motivator for them to go bad. Which is actually very confusing because if I'm not mistaken, they say they need to do something to him, and the main girl's like, we're not gonna hurt him, right? But then in the end, she's the one who's unhinged. I'm confuzzled. Nothing to say here, I just don't like it when actors do this thing where they're crying, but there's no tears. They just sort of go, and they sniffle a lot, but there's nothing.
What is all this? This is a ceremony.
What is all this? In complete coven, and they say they invite her to come over to their house, and then they have her get in a bathtub. And that's fine, I guess. I'm not a teenager anymore. I don't know how teenagers befriend each other nowadays. They could very well invite other teenagers to their house and go, do you want to take a bath? A milk bath with flowers? That could be a thing. I wouldn't know. It just doesn't seem to suit anything here. But also, this could be the next day. Could it? Nah, she's wearing the same shirt. Well, that's fine. I'm not gonna judge it more than I already am. It submerges into the bath. The bath starts sparkling like it's Sailor Moon or something. And I presume this is the following day, but I don't know. Have not seen the movie. I'm reminding you that I have not seen the movie, and neither have you. So let's not judge the movie, we're judging the trailer. Just a friendly reminder. She's in the hallway, and Tommy, not Chris, tries to fuck with her again, and then she just like 11s him out of the way. And that's it. Then those violins come in again. It's very, very scary what just happens. It's terrifying. Okay, this isn't even a critique right here, but it's just this shot of them on the bridge. It reminds me of the Witch Files. And that's not a good thing. The thing that stands out the most to me about this trailer is that it doesn't really have a premise or a plot. And I mean, I know the premise, I've seen The Craft, I understand. But at the same time, if I hadn't seen The Craft, if I wasn't familiar with it at all, this trailer would do nothing for me. Possibly, I don't want to say the worst. Is it the worst? Okay, I'll just say it, but I'm being hyperbolic. The worst thing about the trailer is when they pick up this book called The Craft, and there's a picture in the book of Nancy Downs from the original. Speak of the devil. Picture of Nancy Downs from the original, and it's a picture of her in a scene where there were no cameras. You know how there's diegetic sound and non-diegetic sound? There were no diegetic cameras in that scene. No one took a picture of her in that scene. It's a scene taken from the point of view of Sarah when Nancy was trying to attack her. It just doesn't make sense. And if you did want to tie the story back to Nancy Downs and to The Craft, that's fine. It's not a problem. It's not like it doesn't make sense. It's just that you should probably use a picture that isn't a still from the original movie to make it feel more like an actual story. Like, you could have used an old picture of Feruza, doctored it up a little bit, made it look like a school picture, black and white, grainy, and said, oh, student goes to asylum after attacking another student. I'm not a journalist. I don't know how to write headlines. That could have been a newspaper clipping, maybe, or it could have been, I don't know, something. Just a report, her name would have been enough. But this picture there does not make any fucking sense. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Does that make sense? It Not only that, but it's not even a real Polaroid. Okay, like it could be a real Polaroid, but it's the image on the picture is so clearly not there in her hand that it's kind of off-putting and it looks cheesy, and it's supposed to be a nice little gotcha moment, you know, like, oh my god. But again, if this movie had nothing to do with the craft, or if I was watching the trailer and I had no idea what the craft was, this does nothing for me. I don't know who the fuck that is. This is a new movie. Why don't you stand on your own 2 feet, new movie? Anyway, there's slow motion shots of them walking in school and people are staring at them and, oh my god, you're partying with your friends. Oh my god, you're losing your mind, you know? Everything that has to happen. There's a Ouija board. There's a funeral at one point. Let's see if we can guess who died. It wasn't anyone in the coven who died. It must have been Timmy Tommy, not Chris. Did they go to his funeral in the original? I wouldn't have. I understand that Sarah felt bad about what happened to Chris. I get it. But he was a douchebag.
Be careful. A lot of weirdos out here.
We are the weirdos, mister.
It's just a little bit like, I don't know. A comment here actually on the YouTube channel that says, on the YouTube video, well, I can't find the comment now, but it said something along the lines of, that line makes no sense. It is not that it doesn't make sense, but it's just especially cringy if this is in the same universe as the original The Craft. If there's a picture of Nancy Downs, for her to say the exact same words that Nancy said just feels kind of cheap and kind of lazy. And it's, again, this is a moment that's supposed to be like, ha, oh my god, you want to see it. This is The Craft all over again. I don't. What I also don't like about this shot here is that the girls are posed. Like, they're posing. Like, for a magazine or for a picture. Like, they know this is gonna be a still. And they're ready for it. In a way that in the original they weren't. Because it was a good line. But no one was preparing for The Craft to become The Craft. That's the end of the trailer. It says The Craft Legacy. And I wanted, when I first heard they were making this remake, of course, I was upset and I was like on the fence and I was like, oh my god, they gotta remake everything, they gotta ruin everything. But then I was like, okay, take a deep breath, it could be great, it could be fantastic, so don't just shut it down before it has a chance to start. Give it a fair shot. And I still want to try to give it a fair shot and go in as unbiased as I possibly can. But this trailer did not help. I feel like I'm already expecting it to be very not good. And when I watch the movie, and I am going to watch it because morbid curiosity, I guess. Masochist or something, I don't know. I forgot what I was saying. I could watch this and enjoy it, be impressed. I kind of want to eat my words, to put my foot in my mouth right now. For me saying I don't think it's going to be that great, I want to look back on footage of me saying that and be like, wow, I was wrong. What a great movie. I'd be happy if that happens. So I'm still going to give it a shot and just hope for the best. I have this weird feeling that Lovey Simone is going to be a bigger character than she's shown as being in the trailer. I don't know why. It'd be nice if I end up being right about that. I just have a feeling she's going to have a bigger impact on the overall story than we got to see so far. Be a pleasant surprise. What's interesting is that when you look up The Craft Legacy, the picture that they have on Google, it's just a picture of The Craft. Like the original. I'm looking at it right now. And the last thing I'll say is that I have not really an issue, because it's okay if this is different, and I don't mind the girls being stylish and fashionable. I like glitter, I like pastels, you know, they're all dressed really cute. That's fine, it's not a bad thing. It's just that it's hard to believe them as being misfits, or as the trailer says in the end, weirdos. There's nothing so far out there about them that I would be like, yeah, they're definitely weird. That's crazy. I feel like a lot of kids today dress like this. You know, plaid's in again. A lot of kids like the glitter makeup. It's fly. Yeah, there's nothing really out there about them at all. Not to the point that I would think that they would be outcast in school or consider themselves to be weirdos unironically. Again, it's just the whole thing of, would they really be outcasts? And if the plot is like they're not outcasts, then what's the whole Timmy, Tommy, not Chris thing about? Anyway, maybe I'll review this when it comes out. Maybe I won't. You tell me. Actually, don't. I don't like being told what to do. I'll review when it comes out, and that'll be my choice. Alright, see you with the next Halloween specials.